Boy, would you be in big trouble.
No.
Did you hear what Libby said?
That was a joke. I was kidding. I don't know anything about that sort of thing.
Oh, of course not, Libby.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
It will be.
Okay.
Okay. Big breath. Big breath.
Okay, it's Friday. It's raining.
I know. What a
Oh,
week it's
boy.
been. What a meeting.
What? Oh, my God. Okay. Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. For our visitors, we have a very active town government. Hopefully it's all very much behind the scenes and you have a very enjoyable time here without really having to know about the government. And for our residents, as I hope you know, you have a very active town government, especially this past Wednesday. Boy, did we have an active Wednesday in town government. First of all, there was a Conservation Commission meeting, which primarily was the start of the Sconset Beach Preservation Fund's application, notice of intent application for armoring a portion of the bluff. And the parking lot was full, overflowed, and by the way, I should maybe make mention, the 2FG parking lot was totally open. So if you're in the 4FG parking lot and you can't find a spot, simply go back out, get onto Old South, and go park in the 2FG parking lot, which is what I had to do. And there's a little pathway, if you get into your meetings at night, that is lit now. So you can see your way back easily.
So what happened?
So SBP, the CONCOM meeting, I think, that took a while. I'm not even sure what time they got out, but I believe, I wasn't in the office yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to check, but I believe they continued to their next meeting, which I think is probably 2 weeks from yesterday, I think. It'll be online. Then we had a selectmen's meeting, which started at 6 and got over at 10:30-ish, a little before 10:30. We have not had a marathon meeting like that in a long time. But Gino, I will say, and you probably remember this, when I first started working here, the board did not start meeting until 7 on Wednesdays. It was quite routine to get out at 10 or later, and then it was quite routine to have executive session after the open session. So there were times when we didn't get out of here till 11, 12. That was not totally unheard of back then. So it's better now in terms of the length of the meetings, but you know, after 9 o'clock, I think attention spans, including my own, start to waver. And Bruce had a good idea, Bruce Miller. He said, let's take a quick break so we can get some air, walk around a little bit. We've been here a while. So we should probably do that more, actually. Then sometimes it's difficult corralling everybody back in, but it worked out well this time. In any case, very long meeting. So what did we talk about for 3.5 hours? We had some announcements. It was so long I can't possibly cover every little thing, but we had some announcements, we had some donations, gifts. We had an update from our right-of-way committee. We had some real estate items. We had a number of public hearings, including there is going to be a new stop sign in town on Orange Street at the intersection of Union, right before Old Cumberland Farms. Okay.
They are going to do that?
They are going to do that. Even Nat Lowell, who hates almost every stop sign, agreed that it was not a bad idea.
Are they going to stop traffic coming from? No, they won't stop.
Orange, no. So if you're on Union, right?
Towards Cumbie.
Coming towards Cumbies, you would take a left to go over to Cumbies. You already stop at the stop sign. If you're on Orange Street, coming towards Cumbies, you now will have to stop at that intersection.
I don't get it.
Well, we'll see how it works.
All right.
There was another stop sign proposed, but I won't even go into that one because it wasn't even approved. We also, we made some updates to our bus size per street chart. That just has to do with the size of the tour buses and things. I'm just going to skip some of the routine public hearings. We have 2 new mobile food unit licenses for Island Girls Nantucket Pops.
What?
And they're a ice pop thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're going to be driving around like an ice cream car?
Yes. Well, they stop at certain locations. They don't like drive through neighborhoods.
Oh.
But I wish that there was somebody who drove through neighborhoods, actually, like mine. We had a couple other things like that. The farmers market received an entertainment license for when they have the farmers market. Sometimes they have music, and so they got an entertainment license for that. It's not amplified, it's just pretty calm. Then we had, under the town manager's report, we had an update on the management of the town's ponds, the so-called Great Ponds, which are Maya Comet, Sakacha, Hummock, and Long. And we talked about how and if and when they're opened, all that sort of thing. We're probably going to have another update about that later towards the end of the year.
Why do we need an update on that?
Well, the board asked for an update in June because there were individuals who were asking for Maya Comet to be opened. Maya Comet is not a pond that is opened annually. Some people feel that it should be. Some people do not feel that way. And we do have a study that's about to get underway that will look at the watershed of Maya Comet Pond and what recommendations there might be for mitigating flooding in certain areas.
Do they do that because they think that it's polluted and it needs to be cleaned out?
Well, no. They do that because basements are flooding. At least one, anyway.
And that's why you want to drain?
Well, that's why these individuals want to open it, yes.
I see.
But, and other people want to open it too for other reasons.
Right.
But other people don't, and so it's a little controversial.
But we open other ponds
regularly. We do. Yes, okay. We do. So this is all going to be looked at in our study. We had a brief update from the health officer regarding the medical marijuana regulations. There are some Department of Public Health, state Department of Public Health regulations which have not been finalized yet, evidently. And until they are finalized, the towns can't really take action on this. So just so people understand, last year a law was enacted in Massachusetts that allows for the use of medical marijuana dispensaries, and you are required now, not optional, to have one in every county. So in our situation, we obviously only have the one town in the county. So we are going to have one at some point. And there are a lot of requirements to this. And again, the state Department of Health public regulations have not been entirely finalized, so until they are, we can't grant anybody the license. And once they have the license, there are numerous reporting and other requirements.
Is this a private entity that can have this license?
I think it is a non-profit.
All right.
I think. I am not 100%.
Can the pharmacy dispense it? Could they be one of the people?
They might. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not even going to answer that because
right.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
If people are interested or want more information, they should contact the health department. We also talked about our Phase 2B downtown sewer rehab project schedule. So as you may recall, we did the first part of Phase 2B, which is rehabbing sewers lines and water lines downtown in certain segments. We did Phase 2A some number of years ago, and now we're doing 2B, and we did it this winter. And unfortunately, this winter, there were other projects going on unrelated to this one, like on Chestnut Street, there was a guest house being constructed which involved an underground garage. On Ash Lane, there was a renovation going on which had an impact on the street, and at the same time the sewer project was going on. So there were traffic issues and parking issues, and we are hoping to avoid that stuff this year, but if there are other projects going on at the same time, we will try to coordinate with them, but that's not always going to be a guarantee if we don't know about it. So the project is intended to start back up in mid-September, so we can hopefully avoid the weather and get the project as done as possible before the weather really gets bad. And then once spring comes, hopefully it won't be too bad either, and we can get the project complete by the end of spring of 2014. But again, depending on the weather or unanticipated conditions, the final paving of some of these streets might have to occur in the fall of 2014. That is not a totally unlikely scenario. So the streets involved are all online, and if you live on one of the streets, you will be contacted soon as to the schedule. The schedule is not 100% final yet. We will be talking about this again at our meeting on August 7th. We also had end of fiscal year 2013 reports, budget reports for the general fund, the Island Home Enterprise Fund, the Airport Enterprise Fund, and that was that. And then I gave a town administration activities update, which I'm sure everybody was riveted to.
Why? What
It was
that?
fascinating.
Why is that?
It's always fascinating what town administration is up to, right?
Well, you pretty much tell us what you're doing.
I know. I had a whole list of things.
All right.
And that was highlights. That's not everything. We're busy. And the board is also quite busy. We also had a resignation from the HDC, which happened a few weeks ago, but there's a specific process for filling a vacancy on the HDC per its enacting legislation. And the way that works is, I hope I get this right, the chair of the HDC may appoint an associate member to fill the full member seat for a period of time. That happened, and an associate member was appointed to sit on the HDC itself and not be an associate. So now there's an associate vacancy. Once that's done, if the Board of Selectmen wants to appoint a different person, they may. And in either case, both terms would expire at the next annual election.
Who's
Not
the
at a
chair
special
now?
election, at an annual.
Who was the chair?
The
now?
chair right at the current time, I believe, is Dawn Hill Holgate. So she appointed Diane Coombs, who's an associate member, to sit on the HDC. And the Board of Selectmen chose not to seek applicants for that position. So Diane will remain on the HDC until the annual town election in April. And then that seat will be filled through the election process. We had a great presentation from the chairman of our Island Home Work Group. This is a long-term planning work group that was put together last summer, fall. They've been working pretty diligently on what to do about our Island Home. There are a lot of issues. We don't have time to go into all of them because this is a long time coming. But David Worth did a great report. It's online. And I encourage people to look at it because we need to figure out what we are going to do with that facility. Capital Program Committee. The chairman of that committee, Phil Stambach, came in and reviewed a process document that they have developed, which basically actually documents on paper what the committee does, how it reviews projects, what its long-term planning process is, and its criteria for recommendation and stuff like that. It was very detailed and very good. We also had a discussion about Chapter 67 of the Town Code, which is entitled Management of Coastal Properties Owned by the Town. There are varying legal opinions as to whether or not going back to the SBPF project, Sconset Bluff Preservation, Beach Preservation, as to whether or not town meeting approval is required for the project to happen. The bylaw specifies that if coastal erosion structures are proposed to be constructed on town property, town meeting vote is required. If it is not happening on town property, then it is not required. So right now, we do not know what the Concom is going to do with the project. If they approve the project, I think the board is likely to seek a town meeting vote. That is my own opinion.
Because it's on
Because
town.
they haven't decided this yet. Because part of it is on town property.
Right.
Although we are also waiting for a survey to determine exactly where the town property is. Because there has been so much erosion out there, there may not be very much town property, if any, or there may be more than we think. Or there may just be what we thought.
But even if it erodes, isn't the beach considered town?
No, there are not necessarily anyway.
Oh.
Once erosion has occurred, the land that's lost, if it ever comes back, becomes property of the state. It is does not automatically go back to the town. So they did not take action on this item, the board, the Chapter 67 issue. They are going to wait and see what the outcome of the Concom process is, as well as the survey. We also talked about conveying some land, town-owned land, to Habitat for Humanity, and the board elected to give them a piece of town property that is on Tacoma Way. which is sort of part of the 4FG big parcel where the police station is, but it's down at the Tacoma end, so they're going to give them one lot there. So we need to go about doing all the conveyance documents, and it's already been, the disposition of that property was already approved by town meeting. That was the highlights. There was a few more little things here and there. We did have an executive session at 5 to talk about some threatened litigation, potential litigation issues relating to SBPF. And we had a very, very quick county meeting, which lasted, according to my notes, 3 minutes, maybe not even, because we had hardly any county things. So that is what's going on. The board is not meeting next week, the 31st, 5th Wednesday. They will meet again on August 7th. And there you go. Lots of stuff going on.
Yep.
Busy downtown, which is great.
Yep.
Again, I hope people can be patient with traffic and parking, and please pick up your trash. Please pick it up after yourself. There was a great editorial in the Boston Globe the other day about picking up trash. And it was all about, you don't leave your house like that. Why do you drop trash everywhere? And how we all need to pitch in and make things clean to begin with. Don't leave your litter everywhere. And, when you're right next to a trash can, just throw your trash in. Don't leave it next to the trash can. I see that a lot. It's odd. And the trash can is not full. So, and if it is, find another one. Anyway, which brings me to the Clean Team. The Clean Team, ACK, cleanteam.org, all one word. You can find their schedule online. They are meeting every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. They meet at a different location every week, except they also are always in town at the Stop and Shop parking lot, 8 to 9. They're right there at the beginning. You'll see Peggy Tramposh there generally. She's got a shirt, she's got bags and gloves. 1 hour. Fan out around town, pick up trash. It looks so much better when they're done. The outer location this week, I believe, is at Clark's Cove. And to get to Clark's Cove, how do you get to Clark's Cove? I need to figure that out before tomorrow morning. I think you go down Barrett Farm Road off Matticat Road by the water fountain and it's a long road, go all the way down there, and I think it's down there somewhere at the end.
Right.
At least I'm pretty sure that's where it is. You could look at a map.
Yeah. Look at a map.
So that's it.
Okay.
Got anything else? You didn't catch that laughing part at the beginning, right?
I don't know. We can think about that one.
All right, because now I'm feeling like I'm going to laugh again. I'll try not to. I don't laugh that much, so when I do laugh, I need to let it happen.
You do need to, Libby. You can let it out.
Yeah.
You're under a lot of pressure.
Because how is my life that funny? It isn't. Okay. I guess that's it. So thanks very much. See you next time.